What's going on YouTube? This is Dre the Plug coming at you guys with some more technical heat. And in this video, I'm just going to describe to you guys basically how to go about landing that dream job or that dream internship that you always wanted to do and check out. I'm pretty much going to break down like the best things that you have to do when trying to apply or even talk to a recruiter. I'm going to just break down all of the stuff that you need to have to go work for either this big or small company that you always wanted to go talk to and work for. So let me tell you a little bit about me. My name is Andre Brown. I graduated from Prairie View A&M University. It's like 30 minutes from Houston, Texas. And basically, I just want to explain to you guys how to go about actually getting a job that you wanted. When I was in college, I pretty much got the main jobs that I wanted. I worked at General Electric twice. I worked at Intel. And then now I'm at General Motors. I love General Motors, y'all. And what I really just want to get into is just like how to go about getting that dream internship or dream job. Like most mechanical engineers, like they love Exxon. Like all of them mostly want to go and work for Exxon. I mean, for good reasons too. It's good benefits. I mean, the interns get paid $44 an hour, an intern. And on top of that, they pay for housing. Like the benefits is crazy when you actually look into the actual benefits of these companies. So let me just go ahead and just go into details and show you guys how to obtain these interviews and land these jobs. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down into 5 key points for your dream internship or your dream job that you really want to get, right? So jumping into number 1. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you need to get ready and prep yourself for when you actually see a recruiter in this dream job that you want to go into, or just any type of company that you feel that's in your field and you would like to work for them. So the first thing you need to do is make sure your resume is on point. Like it needs to be smooth, easy to read from top to bottom. You don't want them to read anything and say like, what does this mean or what does that mean? Or to find like a spell mistake somewhere or a spell error. They'll instantly just toss it to the side and then look at somebody else. If you have minor mistakes like that, they don't want that inside of your company. So make sure your resume is nice and organized and broken down and easy to read from top to bottom. So that's another thing. So also make sure you go in and kind of gear your resume in a form to where it fits with the type of company or the type of position that you're trying to go for. Like I wouldn't be the type of person to say, I want to work for Intel, but I'm gonna go talk to Exxon and talk to them and basically explain, I want to really work on processors and understand like how the computers run at certain speeds from start to finish and understand how to go about improving that. Like you wouldn't want to pitch that. If that's something that you're into, go into Dell, go into Intel, go into Google. You kind of want to just gear it towards your own type of job that you want to get into. And if you're somebody where you're like, I don't know exactly what job I want, like what do I want to really go into? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm an engineer, but I don't know which position will be best for me or what type of company will be best for me. So I feel like the best thing to do is first look up location and then definitely take time out of your day to just write like 10 type of companies that you are willing to work for. Like just write out 10. And then out of those 10, go in through each individual one and then do research. Do like 3-hour research on all 10. If you find yourself on the first one and the company you're going into, getting all of the research, understanding what they do, how they go about doing, how do they get moved up, how do they recruit, how do their rotational program work, do they have a rotational program? If they don't, if you go into details on that and you already feel like all of the stuff that the company is about, I'm not even interested in, you can't even get through the whole 3 hours of straight doing research on the company, it's probably not best for you. But if you can go through a company and you can read off and do research about it and understand what's going on right now today with that company, that's probably the company that's best for you because you're willing to sit there and do research about the company already. So when you actually get into your favorite company or your best company that you want to go for or try out, that's all you're going to hear about every single day. So if you feel like, for example, getting oil, extracting oil, bringing it up to the oil rigs, that's something you want to hear every single day or not. If it's not, then don't go for it. If it's something that you're into, then go for a gas type of company like Exxon, Chevron, Shell. If you're just curious about the way that gas is actually stored and we actually have it to release out to gas stations, Go into details and look up how do that tie into engineering. How do they go about doing that? How do they go about making that happen and making it efficient? So you'll want to definitely take that route versus the whole computer route or the processor chips. That's another thing that I'll throw out there. So number two, like once you jump into your resume and the company has your resume and they like it or they're reading off of it and everything's like flowing, they're like, hey, this looks good, I like this, I like that. The next thing that you need to do, you need to communicate the experience that you already have. So a lot of people will end up saying, you know, what if I don't have experience about this? Like I'm trying to get into oil and gas and I don't really know how I could pitch myself into saying I have oil and gas experience, you know, versus somebody that's working for Intel where, you know, they're pitching themselves about computers where you could literally take a computer apart, make your own computer and make it better than the one that you had before. It's a totally different ball game when it comes down to actually breaking down that type of experience to a recruiter. So my best thing that I would tell people to do is, let's say you do want to go into oil and gas, but you know you don't have no oil and gas experience. What you should do is do research on that specific position that you'll end up being in, or go on LinkedIn and look up the type of people that have the same major as you and look up their job title, Google their job title, do research on their job title, break down every single thing that they do, and you can talk about that when you're around a recruiter. That way, as soon as he meets you, he don't have to break down what are you guys gonna do when you actually start working. He could just instantly just listen to what you have to say when you talk about the job position. So like that's how you could separate yourself instantly. Like if you're already telling a recruiter what you're gonna do already, he'll be way more inclined to want to recruit you, because it's like this guy already know what we're doing. He already know we're at this point right now in the company. Like he understand when he get there, this is what he's gonna do, X, Y, and Z. So I don't have to go and backtrack and teach him and tell him this is what our company do, this is what our company is about, because then it's kind of like this guy didn't do any of his research and he already wants a job. So definitely look it out that way. So that will definitely be number two when it comes down to breaking down your own experience or your own way of really just proving that you did your research behind the scenes. Sometimes you don't necessarily need experience, but research can really get you a long way if you already know a lot of what's going on. Also, when you're going in and communicating of what you have done or what type of experience you have completed or did or anything that you created, make sure you can break down everything from start to finish. Like the last thing you want to do is get to a recruiter, he likes your resume, and then when you say, oh, like just tell me about your little experience, I see you did this on your resume, I see you have this, you have that. Can you tell me a little bit about that? And then you're kind of like, I built a computer. And then he's like, okay, so what did you do about building the computer? And you're like, I put these chips together. He's like, okay, so what chips did you do? Just make sure you can literally go in from start to finish and break down everything. Like you don't want the recruiter to have to stop and ask questions or signal off a red flag. Like, does this person really know what he's talking about? Or did he just copy and paste this from a resume that somebody probably had beforehand? Or is this a recycled resume? Or is this somebody that literally just Googled some stuff online, seen what the company likes, and just pasted it on his resume? Because recruiters are gonna drill you and they're gonna ask you all type of questions to really test you and see, does this person know what he's talking about? Like people always go in and add random stuff on resumes, and when recruiters ask them about it and they don't know what they're talking about, it's so easy for recruiters to see if a person really know what they're talking about in most cases, especially big companies, because 9 times out of 10, you're not only gonna do one interview. So just be ready for that. Just be ready for any type of question that they have about you and just answer it instantly and be ready to knock out any type of hurdles that may be thrown at you. And add on to it too. If they ask you about one question, add on to that question, add on to that answer, and then add more and more and more onto it. Then flip it and you could ask them a question about something that you did to see if they've been listening or even understand what you're talking about. Okay, so jumping into number 3. So the next thing is doing your research on the companies. Like I feel like this was one of the things that got me a huge leg up when it came down to companies that I'll go talk to. When I was like at career fairs and stuff, like 9 times out of 10, by the time I already got there, I knew everything that I had to say to these companies because I already did research about them. So for example, if I was going to go talk to a company that have to do with electrical engineering, I will definitely talk about the electrical aspect of something that's about to be released and they're wondering whether or not they'll be doing really, really good. For example, if I'm going to go talk to a Tesla recruiter, it's no way that inside the conversation of me talking to this recruiter that we don't mention the truck that Elon just released. That's one of the most things that you need to drop off. And you need to, you're at a company that you're going to get into. It wouldn't be smart to just say, I don't like the truck doesn't make sense if you're talking to a recruiter. What you should do is try to explain it or start a conversation in a way that will kind of make the recruiter feel like, okay, this person, he understands what's going on. He's looking at the bigger picture. He understands Elon is trying to change the mindset and change people's view of how trucks typically look. Something like that will completely change a recruiter's mindset versus, I think the car is okay, or I think the car is, I think it can make some changes. Versus going in and explaining how Elon, he is trying to change the way that people view trucks. So something that I will end up doing before I even talk to a recruiter or before the career fair even start, specific companies that I know that I really, really want to talk to and I know I'm gonna have to separate myself versus all the other people that's in my class that's about to go talk to these same companies. I'll basically do research on a company, but I will look up something so specific that's geared towards my particular major that I know that's not on the homepage, that everybody's pretty much gonna spill out. They'll wait until career fair day and look up something online, go to the homepage and look up a few things like, oh, okay, they're coming out with this, they're coming out with that. I'll just talk about that when I talk to the recruiter. I'll look up something that's really detrimental to the company that's probably like 3 or 4 pages down the line on the website, or something that's, oh, like this is something that we've been working on for the past 5 or 6 years and it's just now starting to get off the ground. And if we could get this part to work perfectly, this is gonna make us a whole lot of money because of the fact that this is gonna be a crazy improvement, but it's not broadcasted like that because the average person really do not care. But at a technical standpoint or from an engineering standpoint, this is something that's really, really important. And 9 times out of 10, I may even end up working on it, or I may not, but it's just the fact that I would know what's going on about this. And on the internet, there's a lot of stuff that's super specific that is on the internet for you to talk about or do research about that most people aren't gonna have a clue or know what it was about. I remember I was talking to this one recruiter about, long story short, it was basically about this spaceships that's being made and they're trying to get it to the point to where it's completely autonomous for one of the companies I was talking to. And the lady was just so impressed that I knew what that was. And she was like, I heard about that literally this week. And the fact that you telling me all of this stuff about it, I'm getting an update from you right now. So right after that conversation, I pretty much got an interview just because I did extra research about something that was really specific within the company. And in most cases, she probably just heard the same phrase from other people, which was probably like, oh, I know you guys work on space stuff. I know you guys work on this type of missiles or something like that. Like she probably heard that all day, but now she heard something so specific within the company that she didn't even know about, but she have a clue about it because she heard it from somebody or she know what's going on, but that's not her expertise. But the fact that I just dropped that on her, she's just like, dang, I haven't heard about this from like nobody, and you literally is the first person to come to me without saying pretty much the same thing as other people have already been saying. So immediately I already have an interview and I don't even have to worry about hitting her with a follow-up. It's not mandatory, but it's always good to follow up with all recruiters that give you emails and give you contact information. Just let them know, thank you for talking to me. Definitely talk to them more than once when you're at a career fair. When you're getting ready to leave, just speak to them one more time. Okay, so jumping into number 4, right? So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do when it's a career fair, let's say like you have a list of companies that's coming and you have names out beside it, right? Or you're just going to a job fair that don't have anything to do with a school, but it's actual companies that's gonna be there, it don't matter. But if you could get a list beforehand, and let's just say it's names out beside these companies, what you can end up doing is taking that first and last name, putting it into LinkedIn, and then finding out these people job titles and looking up their actual majors that's on LinkedIn. So from there, you already have a leg up amongst the other people that's about to go talk to these same people. So once you get these job titles, Now you can go in and look up their job descriptions and actually see what they do. Who are these people? Like, what are they gonna end up spilling to you when you ask, what do you do? If you do research on that, and the time where you hand your resume off to them, you mention that part too, that of what they already do or their job title, they're already gonna be interested, because they're gonna say, man, like this person already know what I do. I don't even have to explain myself, because he already know pretty much the basics of what I do when I go to work every day, which shows that you already are doing research already and you haven't even started working for the company yet. So that's another good tip to throw out there when you're trying to go out and talk to these recruiters. A lot of their information is already online. A lot of these people, they're already high up and they're already somebody in the company, to the point to where if you Google their name with the company right next to it, stuff is gonna pop up. They done already did stuff to the point to where they're instantly Googled and you have information on them about certain things that they completed or achieved. If you could just Google it and then mention that in the mix of while you're going to go talk to these recruiters, they'll definitely be ready to give you an interview after knowing about themselves. It's nothing like somebody coming up to you and already knows certain things that you done already did. It's like, whoa, like you already have an attraction towards a person that already knows certain things like that. Okay, so jumping into number 5, I feel like this is the most slept on step of them all, and it's location, right? So some companies, they'll pay a whole lot more, but then the cost of living will be extremely high too. Some companies will pay less, but it's like the cost of living is less. So there's a lot of things that you have to take into account when you're looking at locations. You need to go in and Google how much money is the average range for your particular major, and see, is it a good deal or is it a bad deal? Look at how much rent is around your job. Look at how much taxes is gonna be taken out. Like Texas don't have state tax. Cali have all types of taxes. So it's things like that that you really wanna pay attention to before going in and signing a deal. Like I know so many people where by the time the recruiter talked to them, explain to them that they're a good pick, break down all types of different ways for them to move up in the ladder and all of that stuff. And then lastly, they hit them with the salary, and it's a good salary, but they don't break down, you know, like a good 40% of all of your money is going to go straight to rent. They don't break down this percentage is all going to go straight to taxes. So that's something else that you have to do research on your own and really just make sure, am I going to make money back after I go to work, or am I going to be one of those people that's living paycheck to paycheck, basically, depending upon your expenses? How do you live? Like how much money are you gonna spend to go out and do this and travel, and just really, do you want to like live a luxury or not? It all depends on your own expenses, but how much money do you feel like you will want and how much you feel like you will spend. So definitely look into that. And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help the channel. Definitely go check out my Instagram, DreDaPlug123. And then go also check out my other YouTube channel. I'll have it linked down below. This was the channel I started a little while ago. It's basically about barbering and basically giving your own self a fresh cut and looking nice when you step out the house. So definitely check out that channel. I do all types of different haircuts, and be looking forward for the next video that drop. And I'm out.